Last night really was perfect.
I miss you already.
I found out my wife was living a double life with someone I know. I used to believe that if something was wrong in your marriage, you would feel it immediately, like a loud alarm, a dramatic moment, a clear sign. But that's not how betrayal works. Sometimes betrayal is quiet. Sometimes it slips into your life slowly, so slowly that by the time you notice it, it's already been living beside you for months, maybe even years. And the scariest part? The person lying to you still smiles at you every day like nothing changed. That's what happened to me. Because the woman I trusted more than anyone, my wife, was living an entirely different life behind my back. And the worst part wasn't that she was hiding someone else. It was that I knew him. If you looked at our life from the outside, everything seemed normal. We had been married for 6 years. We had routines, inside jokes, movie nights, weekend grocery runs. The kind of relationship people describe as solid. And maybe that's why I ignored the signs for so long. Because I was comfortable. Comfortable people don't question things immediately. They explain them away. And that's exactly what I did. At first, the changes were small. My wife became more protective of her phone. Not dramatically, subtly. She started turning the screen away when messages appeared, taking calls in other rooms, smiling at texts she never explained. And every time I noticed it, she had an answer ready. Work stress. A friend? Nothing important. And because I loved her, I accepted those answers. Even when something deep inside me felt uneasy. Then came the late nights, the sudden errands, the unexplained distance. She stopped telling me little things. And people don't realize this, but little things matter. When someone stops sharing the small details of their life with you, it usually means they're sharing them somewhere else. I remember one night, specifically. She was sitting beside me on the couch, physically close, emotionally miles away. Her phone buzzed, and for just 1 second, I saw her face change. Not panic, not fear, excitement. The kind of smile someone gives when they hear from a person they truly want to talk to. That moment stayed with me, because I realized something terrifying. I hadn't seen her smile at me like that in a very long time. I tried to ignore it. I really did. Because once suspicion enters a relationship, everything changes. You start overanalyzing small things. A delayed reply, a different tone, a missing detail. And I didn't want to become that person. I didn't want to become paranoid. But the truth doesn't disappear just because you avoid it. It waits, quietly, until it forces itself into the light. The first real crack happened on a Thursday night. She told me she was going out with coworkers. Nothing unusual. But around midnight, I got a message from one of her actual coworkers asking if my wife was okay. That message froze me. Because according to them, there was no work gathering, no dinner, nothing. And suddenly, every excuse she had given me over the past few months started replaying in my head all at once. I called her. No answer. Again, nothing. Hours passed. And for the first time in my marriage, I felt like a stranger in my own life. When she finally came home, it was almost 3 a.m. She walked in quietly, probably thinking I was asleep. But I was sitting in the dark waiting for her. I'll never forget the look on her face when she saw me. It lasted less than a second, but it was enough. Because guilt has a look. And once you recognize it, you never unsee it. She immediately started explaining before I even spoke. Too quickly, too rehearsed. And that's when I realized something else. People who are telling the truth usually answer questions. People who are lying prepare speeches. I asked her where she was. She said she lost track of time. I asked who she was with. She hesitated, just for a moment. But moments matter. Then she gave me a name, and the second I heard it, my stomach dropped. Because I knew him, not casually, not distantly, I knew him personally. He had been in my house before, shaken my hand, sat at my table, laughed with me, and suddenly all those memories felt poisoned. After that night, something inside me changed. Not loudly, quietly. I stopped asking questions, stopped confronting her, stopped reacting emotionally. Because I realized I wasn't dealing with confusion anymore. I was dealing with deception. And deception leaves patterns. So I started paying attention. Real attention. I noticed how often she smiled at her phone after midnight. How she suddenly cared more about her appearance before errands. How defensive she became over simple questions. And eventually, I stopped looking for reassurance and started looking for proof. The truth revealed itself slowly, painfully, like pieces of glass surfacing through water. Massage, photos, call logs, hidden conversations, a second social media account, different stories told to different people. That's when I understood something terrifying. My wife wasn't just cheating. She was living two separate lives, one with me and one with him. And somehow, she had become comfortable switching between them. The hardest part wasn't the betrayal. It was realizing how long it had been happening while I sat there trusting her completely. I replayed everything in my head. Vacations, birthdays, anniversaries, and suddenly none of those memories felt real anymore. Because once trust breaks, the past breaks with it. I remember sitting alone in my car one night, staring at my phone for almost an hour. Not crying, not angry, just empty. Because there's a specific kind of pain that comes from realizing someone looked you in the eyes every day while lying to you. That pain changes you. Eventually, I found out where they were meeting. A small apartment across town. Nothing glamorous. Nothing special. And somehow, that made it worse. Because it proved this wasn't fantasy. It was routine. Normal. Established. I sat outside that building longer than I should have, thinking, questioning myself, wondering if I should walk in, wondering if I even wanted confirmation anymore. But deep down, I already had it. I saw them leave together, laughing, comfortable, like two people completely free from guilt. And in that moment, something inside me went cold. Not broken, cold. Because heartbreak eventually transforms into clarity, and clarity is dangerous. I didn't confront her immediately. That's the part people never understand. They think betrayal automatically creates explosions. But sometimes the most dangerous reaction is silence. Because silence gives you time. Time to think. Time to prepare. Time to decide who you become after the truth. For days, I acted normal. And she believed it. That's the thing about liars. Once they think you trust them, they relax. She laughed with me, ate dinner with me, talked about future plans with me, while still secretly living another life behind my back. And every second of it made me realize something important. I wasn't losing her. I had already lost her a long time ago. I just hadn't known it yet. The night everything finally ended was strangely calm. I asked her to sit down. No anger, no shouting, just quiet. And I asked her one question. How long were you planning to keep pretending? Her face changed instantly. And in that moment, she knew. Not because I yelled, not because I accused her, but because calmness scares guilty people more than anger ever will. At first, she denied it, then minimized it, then cried, then blamed confusion, then blamed distance in our marriage. But the truth had already moved past excuses. And honestly, the most painful part wasn't hearing the lies. It was realizing how many times she had probably practiced them before. I told her everything I knew. The messages, the apartment, the late nights, the second life she thought was hidden. And the room became unbearably quiet. Because once secrets are spoken out loud, they stop feeling powerful. She asked me if I hated her, and I remember looking at her for a long time before answering. because hate would have been easier. Hate still carries emotion. What I felt was different. I felt tired. Tired of questioning myself. Tired of doubting my instincts. Tired of loving someone who was slowly disappearing while pretending to stay. And here's the truth nobody talks about. Sometimes relationships don't end the day cheating happens. Sometimes they end the moment trust disappears. Everything after that is just delayed reality. I walked away quietly. No revenge. No dramatic scene. No public exposure. Just distance. Because sometimes protecting your peace is more powerful than destroying someone else's image. But I still think about it sometimes. Not her. Not even him. I think about how easily someone can become a stranger while still sleeping beside you every night. And honestly, that's the part that still scares me the most. So tell me honestly, if you were me, would you expose her or leave quietly? Please share your thoughts in the comment section and subscribe for more stories like this.